Your doctor is keeping you sick. I know that's a bold statement, but what I'm about to reveal will shock you. The biggest health mistakes you're making right now, especially if you're over 50, are the exact things your doctor is telling you to do. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know the real truth about nutrition, supplements, and health that the medical system doesn't want you to know. Let me be brutally honest. Most doctors are not experts in nutrition. They simply don't get the training. Their approach: give you a label for your condition, match it with a medication, and send you on your way. I'm far more interested in getting to the root cause of your problems and actually solving them. So let's dive into the common mistakes that are destroying your health right now. First, make absolutely sure the source of your health information comes from someone with real experience and proven results in solving the exact problem you're facing. Second, be extremely careful about accepting a diagnosis that just doesn't feel right. Trust your instincts. Third, and this is critical, make sure the treatment you're getting doesn't create more problems than your current symptoms. Side effects are real problems, not minor inconveniences. Now, here's something nobody talks about. If you expose yourself to too much stress, it gets stuck in your mind. You try to go to bed but can't sleep. You're worrying constantly. You're living in a perpetual state of fear. And unfortunately, in today's world, it's almost impossible to avoid because stress is everywhere. The news, social media, work pressure, it never stops. Let me tell you something powerful about your environment. I didn't realize how critical this was until I had the incredible opportunity to move from the city to a farm. Having that space is pure therapy. Going into nature on a regular basis is not optional. It's essential for your health. Your environment shapes your well-being in ways you can't even imagine. Next, regular, consistent exercise. What exercise does is flush out the cortisol and adrenaline that builds up just from being alive on this planet. But here's the key. Exercise in waves rather than sustained, high pulse rate sessions. It's far healthier for your body. Now let's talk about the most important nutrients you absolutely must be getting regularly. Number one, and this might surprise you, is vitamin D. Listen to this. You have 20 to 25,000 different genes in your body. Vitamin D influences 10% of those genes. 10%. To create a real therapeutic effect with vitamin D, you need 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, even 50,000 or more IU of vitamin D3 to truly make an impact. There's a medical doctor who specializes in autoimmune diseases and gets incredible results using high-dose vitamin D3. He has over 900 video testimonials showing before and after transformations. Certain doctors are using high doses of vitamin D3 to actually remodel parts of the eye and repair incredibly difficult conditions like glaucoma. Other doctors are using it to shrink fibroids. Vitamin D is absolutely critical for your health. And of course, we need more sun exposure too. We just don't go outside enough anymore. The second most important nutrient is magnesium. It's extremely rare that anyone gets enough magnesium. Magnesium is involved in thousands of different processes in your body. Every type of heart disease usually involves a magnesium deficiency. But magnesium goes way beyond the heart. If you don't have enough magnesium, you literally can't make energy in your cells. Number three is zinc. Zinc is a crucial trace mineral, and most people are severely deficient. Here's what's fascinating. These three nutrients, vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc, all depend on each other. You could be taking massive amounts of vitamin D3, but be deficient in magnesium and zinc, and the vitamin D simply won't work. You need all three working together. Now flip this around. What are the two nutrients you absolutely must be careful with because they become toxic? Number one is calcium. As we age, calcium tends to plug everything up in our bodies. And guess what regulates calcium? Magnesium. If you don't take enough magnesium regularly, you put yourself at serious risk for heart disease because calcium gets deposited into soft tissues where it doesn't belong. The other nutrient that's even more deadly than Too much calcium is iron. We have an extremely difficult time getting rid of iron from our bodies. At most, we only eliminate 0.5 to 1 milligram of iron per day, yet the RDA for iron is 8 milligrams, and for women of childbearing age, it's 18 milligrams. We're taking in way too much iron. If you have excess iron, you literally rust out your organs. Start looking at labels and avoid iron supplementation. Even genetic iron problems aren't true iron deficiencies. They're iron accumulation in the wrong places. Iron is extremely toxic, and I never recommend supplementing it. Next mistake, avoiding salt. There's a huge difference between sea salt and table salt. I always recommend sea salt because it contains 84 different minerals. If someone is salt sensitive, they're actually just deficient in potassium. Potassium and sodium work together, and we need considerable amounts of sodium from sea salt. When you're deficient in salt, your cortisol spikes. This affects your sleep and increases stress. Salt is a vital electrolyte. The RDA for potassium is 4,700 milligrams daily. That's essential for generating energy in your nerves and muscles. I don't think anyone actually gets that amount. Here's something that will blow your mind. Someone recently asked me what they should do going through menopause. I said, make sure you're consuming enough cholesterol-rich foods. They looked at me like I was crazy. Their doctor is trying to lower their cholesterol. But here's what happens as we age. Our hormones decrease. Testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, all dropping. And every single one of these hormones is built from cholesterol. When you cut down cholesterol or take medications that lower it, you devastate hormones that are already tanked and extremely low. Having sufficient cholesterol in your diet is absolutely critical as you age. We need cholesterol for our brain, for bile salts to digest fats, and most importantly, to make hormones. Where do we get cholesterol? Butter, eggs, dairy, shellfish. And just think about this logically. Diabetes is too much sugar in your blood, right? Wouldn't it make perfect sense to cut down sugar and carbohydrates? But instead, the focus is on keeping glucose tablets or candy in your pocket in case your blood sugar drops too low from medication. Why not just take less medication if you reduce carbs? This whole system is insane, but it's not just about cutting sugar. You need to cut down on starch too. Most starch people eat isn't even listed as starch on labels. It's hidden as modified food starch or wheat flour. It's everywhere and it's destroying your health. In your diet, you have proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Which is most important for creating health? Proteins. Why? Because most of your body is protein, not just muscle and connective tissue, but your immune system, antibodies, white blood cells, everything. Here's something fascinating. A person, an insect, an animal will continue eating until their protein requirements are satisfied. Look at junk food, cereal boxes, crackers, cookies. Check the protein content. It's practically missing. What food gives you the most healing power immediately? Grass-fed beef and grass-fed lamb. These are the most nutrient-dense foods to heal your gut, provide trace minerals, give you B vitamins, and deliver the highest quality protein. Think about it. As we age, especially over 50, we start losing muscle mass. You need to keep protein high with every meal. You can also get super concentrated nutrients from organ meats. I wish I liked liver, but I don't. However, there's another liver I absolutely love and sometimes crave. Cod liver. It's delicious and one of the best nutrient sources available. I consume it twice a week. Now this next point is absolutely vital. The frequency of eating. Let's say you consume 2,500 calories per day. Eating them twice a day versus 6 times a day creates vastly different effects. Every time you eat, you stimulate insulin. Producing too much insulin is probably the single biggest problem behind chronic illnesses today. Not just diabetes, but fatty liver, high blood pressure, everything. We talked about reducing carbohydrates. Now we're talking about reducing snacking and late night grazing. If you could just take your snacks, whether nuts or whatever, and push them into your meals and eat just 2 meals a day, that would be incredible. You'd naturally do intermittent fasting, and create massive health improvements by reducing insulin. Let me tell you about autoimmune diseases where your immune system attacks itself. It's the #1 health problem out there. I think it's a combination of factors. First, people have low vitamin D, but that's not the only cause. It involves microbes, viruses, and pathogens constantly trying to invade our bodies. One strategy these pathogens use is downgrading your vitamin D receptors. Normal amounts of vitamin D don't help because the microbe is incredibly smart. But something else occurs just before infection. In my practice, I noticed people almost always had a major stress event right before developing autoimmune disease. Loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of something significant. What happens when someone experiences severe shock? Their immune system becomes suppressed with high cortisol levels. If you're already low in vitamin D3, your immune system can shift and start inappropriately attacking your own tissue, developing autoimmune disease. Prednisone, a synthetic cortisol, shuts down the immune system too. That's why it's used for autoimmune conditions. The greatest thing you can do for stress is exercise and change your environment. Stop exposing yourself to so much insanity. Now, the last thing, and possibly the most important, your gut microbiome. Your microbiome is actually an organ. People think it's some extra thing separate from us. It's absolutely part of us. It contains more cells than our own body, and the impact these microbes have on your health is enormous. Why would we ever want to take an antibiotic and kill them off? It's beyond me. When you take an antibiotic, you will never have the same microbes again. Many of these microbes never grow back. It's a complete lie that they'll just decrease temporarily and come back to normal. That's false. Supporting your gut microbiome is vital for immune protection, neurotransmitter creation, your mood, cognitive function, vitamin production, digestion, cancer prevention, and sleep quality. The list goes on forever. That's why it's critical to regularly consume fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, and yogurt. Taking a high-quality probiotic is extremely smart. I've covered massive amounts of information in this video. All of it is critically important, especially if you're over 50. But apply this information before you're 50. Start creating your health right now because health must be created. It doesn't happen automatically. I've given you the key ingredients for creating real health. If this video opened your eyes, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me which health mistake surprised you most. Subscribe to this channel because I'm bringing you more truth about health that the medical system won't tell you. Share this with anyone who needs this information. Until next time, take control of your health.